Hey everybody, I am super excited this week. Look who sent in our next project.
Hello.
It's the Craftsman from the Crafsman SteadyCraftin channel. And he sent in this Stikfas kit because he wants to recast these parts in a different resin. He'll explain why later in the video. But it's my job to make molds of these parts, so let's get started. I need a sturdy box that's square and flat, so I'm cutting it out of this 3/4 inch laminate. Got the holes all cut, and now it's ready to wax. And to do it, let's break out the beeswax. Beeswax is the greatest thing in the world. I love it. It's a mold maker's best friend. If you have to do a lot of edges on boxes, the simplest way to do it is to clamp them together and do them all at once. Makes it a lot quicker and easier. The box is ready. Let's get the parts mounted. The concern that I have are these little holes. These are a great area to catch bubbles, especially these really deep holes. Fill it from one side, and that way the rubber will push the air out in the bottom of that hole. You have to leave a channel for the air to go out. So I'm being very careful not to clog the entrance to the hole with the rubber, because then the air can't get out, and I'll trap a bubble down at the bottom of the hole. You can pre-paint the surface of your models when you're worried about catching bubbles. And this rubber can fully cure before you pour the main body of the rubber. Of course, test the material that you use. That's true of the materials that I use, but you always want to know your materials. So test, test, test. If you try to push the rubber down, you can really trap bubbles easily. It's better to just let gravity and patience do your job. Do a good job crafting your mold. We'll do all around, we'll pre-fill everything, and then when we pour these molds, we know we're not going to catch bubbles. I cut these spacers, and they're going to sit in there like this, like that. Kit's in place, got the spacers. Let's secure the kit with a couple of drops of sticky wax. One right there, one right there, one right there, and the fourth one right in the corner. Okay, sticky wax done. That's all it takes to hold that in place. We can remove our spacers, and that's going to hold that perfectly. All the pockets that I pre-filled are facing down, and any pockets that are left are facing up, which means they're going to fill. They're not going to catch bubbles as they fill. So now we need to close up the mold box, and to do it, I mixed up a little bit of rubber. I want to put a little gasket down. That is all you need, boy. That's all it's going to take. Use the same mold rubber that you're going to pour to make the mold. Use it to make a gasket to seal up the mold. And if you do that, you'll know you have a mold case that won't leak. How handy is that? Okay, let's get the dust and debris and nonsense off the plastic so we have a nice clear window. And let's drop it into place. Right into place, like that. And then we can go around, find the holes. Like that. Good, good. Just hand tighten them. That is a complete gasket all the way around. That is sealed up. Always try to pour from the bottom of the container up. Let the rubber rise up and push the air out in front of it. And you can see the parts that I pre-filled are facing down. That's where they would catch bubbles. The parts that are facing up should not catch any bubbles. Yep, looks good. Notice how sealed up it is. No leaks. Perfect. Let's trim some of the flash off this mold. Just clean the mold up a little bit. This is purely cosmetics. This is not about function. This is just making it pretty. This edge is our hinge edge, and we're not going to cut through here. Let's come in here and start cutting. We want to make jagged cuts, but not crazy jagged. Just jagged enough to cause an interlock of the rubber halves of the mold. And you can see I've already found the first part. So I know where I'm going. Cut that free, so I'm right on where I want to be. The hardest part to cutting molds is always starting the cuts. That's the scariest part. The further into the cut you get, the more you see where you're going. See how that looks? See how it's coming out perfect? And see my jaggies? They're not huge, but they're enough that this mold is going to interlock nicely when we put it back together. The trick to cutting molds is to go slow. Take your time. Don't get impatient. Feel your way. And also to know where the parts are. Oop, broke a part out. The plastic that this kit is made out of is really brittle, and it snaps just like that. You can see how you cut the thing jaggy, nice and jagged, but not crazy jagged, just enough so that when you close the mold up, it's going to interlock together neat and sweet. We're going to put some weight on it like that. Nice. If I do say so myself, these are some mighty fine squish molds, and they're ready to cast, but I'm not going to cast them. I'm going to send them over to the Craftsman. So this video is continued over on the Crafsman SteadyCraftin channel. Follow the links wherever I put them and head over to his channel and watch him make his crafting magic.